because he didn't get fired from his previous job. He left all on his own.
1 second, Mr. Moles. I'm debating with the state, if that's okay. Ms. Victoria Bryce, I need you to raise your right hand and tell me that your hand is in the air.
It's in the air.
Miss Victoria Bryce, do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So I hope you got it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. You can put your hand down. Mr. Keith Moles, please raise your right hand and tell me that your hand is in the air.
It's in the air.
Mr. Moles, do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So I hope you got it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. You can put your hand down. Ms. Pinister, does the state have any other witnesses that they miss to be sworn?
No, we do not, Your Honor.
Okay, call your first witness.
Your Honor, if I may, offer in the evidence, State's Exhibit A, there is an acknowledgement of paternity for the child Aspen.
Let me see if I can get that up on the screen. Ms. Bryce, I've just placed on the screen a copy of the alleged acknowledgement of paternity for the child Aspen. Is it okay if I look at this acknowledgement?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Same question, Mr. Moles. May I look at the acknowledgement for the child Aspen?
Yes, sir.
State's Exhibit A is admitted into evidence.
Thank you, Your Honor. And I'll call Ms. Bryce. Ms. Bryce, there's another child, Aria, that's subject to this suit as well, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And that child was born during your marriage to Mr. Moles. You guys are still married, and that child is born during the marriage, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
You all are still married and no one is filed for divorce.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. With regards to the proposed child support review order that we're here for today, you're in agreement with conservatorship and visitation, and you were ordered to enroll the children in excuse me, Mr. Moles was going to provide health insurance through his employer for the children. Child support in the proposed order was set at $1,093.
Ms. Pinister?
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you just go through the questions one at a time, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Miss Bryce, you're asking the court to confirm this child support review order.
Your child support review order is not evidence, Ms. Pinister.
Okay, I will go. Miss Bryce, the children primarily live with you?
Yes, ma'am.
And you make all the day-to-day decisions for the children?
Yes, ma'am.
How often does Mr. Moles visit with them?
Sometimes ever since he moved back, sometimes he comes every weekend, sometimes it's every other weekend.
Okay. So you're basically in agreement for him to have the standard possession?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have health insurance for the children through your employer?
No, ma'am. They're on Medicaid.
Okay. And that covers their dental as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Pass the witness, Your Honor.
Call your next witness.
I'll call Mr. Moles. Mr. Moles, when did you and Miss Bryce separate?
I'd say it was like October, November of 2021 or 2022.
Okay.
I think it was 2021.
And up until that time, you were actively parenting, co-parenting the children?
Yes, ma'am.
You attended doctor's appointments, school activities, and things like that?
Yes, ma'am.
You want to be a part of these children's lives?
Yes, ma'am.
So you're asking the court to appoint you as a joint managing servitor and order standard possession?
Yes, ma'am.
Where are you working, sir? Or let me ask you this, where are you currently employed?
I'm currently employed at Domino's, but I'm trying to get in the State Trooper Academy.
And how long have you been employed at Domino's?
Since I'd say about February 20th.
Where are you and how much do you make at Domino's?
Right now I'm making $10 an hour.
And you're working full-time?
Yes, ma'am.
Is health insurance available to you through your employer, sir?
I don't believe so, but I can check up on that.
Do you have any other children?
No, ma'am.
Were you working prior to you working at Domino's? So prior to February, were you employed?
I was employed at International Paper.
And how long had you been employed there?
It was from May 1st up until February 13th, I believe was my last day.
Of 2024. So May 1st of 2023 through February of 2024.
Yes, ma'am.
And how much were you making when you were employed by International Paper?
It was $32 an hour.
And what happened with that job, Mr. Moles?
I took the job just to try to gain experience because I graduated college, and then in a way for me to try to get back home to get closer to my daughters, I applied to be a state trooper, and my boss just took it the wrong way, and then it just seemed like he was trying to get rid of me.
When did you graduate college?
I graduated December of 2022.
Okay. And what is your degree in, Mr. Moles?
That's in instrumentation.
Okay. So from December of 2022 to May of 2023, when you became employed with International Paper, did you work?
Yes, ma'am. I was working at Domino's.
Okay. So that's while you were in school.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you tried to seek any other employment in your field?
I'm still trying to seek employment. It's just really hard right now.
Okay. When's the last time that you applied for a job, I guess, at the plants?
I applied to ExxonMobil yesterday.
Okay. And you're asking the court to set guideline child support based on your current income of $10 an hour.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Pass the witness, Your Honor. And if I may recall Miss Bryce.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Miss Bryce, you are not in agreement, or you think the child support order as presented should be approved by the court. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You think that Mr. Moles is trying to avoid paying child support?
Yes, ma'am, because he didn't get fired from his previous job. He left all on his own.
And what personal knowledge do you have of that, ma'am?
Well, he told me.
And is your basically you believe he opposes paying the $1,000 for child support?
Yes, ma'am. I think he left that job just so he wouldn't have to pay as much.
Okay. Pass the witness, Your Honor.
You have any other witnesses?
I do not.
What is the state requesting in this case?
Your Honor, the state would ask, child support is based off of actual income. Mr. Moles at this time is working full-time at Domino's for $10 an hour.
Okay, so you're asking me to set child support based on $10 an hour and 40 hours a week?
That is the law, Your Honor. That would be a guideline order.
May I speak real quick?
1 second, Mr. Moles. I'm debating with the state, if that's okay.
Yes, sir.
Come on. And you don't think there's been any evidence whatsoever submitted, Ms. Pinster, that might lead the court to believe that Mr. Moles is voluntarily underemployed?
If the court would, Your Honor, weigh Ms. Bryce's testimony and reach that determination.
Did you quit your job, Mr. Moles, or did you get fired?
I did quit it. I never claimed to be fired, but
No.
as soon as I get another job, I have no problem with the child support being raised.
Right.
I'm not happy I'm at Domino's right now. I want to make more money to provide for my
Yeah.
children.
Right. I don't, I mean, I don't have any or haven't heard any evidence, Mr. Moles, to the contrary. But you have to admit, Mr. Moles, from a judge's standpoint, it does look kind of hinky that, you know, within 3 months after talking to the Attorney General's office about what your child support was going to be, you were no longer working at the position.
I 100% agree, but we did have a court date scheduled for January 18th.
I'm
But like
sorry,
you
John, I
guys,
believe the video lagged,
Well, that's okay.
and it may be mine.
Yeah, that's okay. It's probably on my end. I don't have a very good internet connection in Orange County.
but we did have a court date scheduled for the 18th to do this, and I was still employed by International Paper at that time.
What happened to that court date as far as you know, Mr. Moles?
It get iced over. It was whenever the ice came, so it got canceled.
Oh, okay, okay. When did you actually lose your job? When did you actually quit your job at IP?
I put my 2 weeks in January. My last day was February 13th.
Okay.
But I do have a video of my employer admitting that he told me that he wanted me to keep searching for other jobs because I told him about the state trooper thing.
Right, and Mr. Moles, I don't want you to take this the wrong way. I'm not trying to stop you from bettering yourself or going to the State Trooper Academy. That's not my intention. Okay.
Yes, sir.
But your child support should really be closer to $1,000 a month based on your income. And for personal choices, and I'm not saying that we're not the right choices. I'm just saying for personal choices, now you're asking me to set the child support at a third of that. And I'm just not sure that that's in the best interest of the girls.
I would happily pay the 1,000 if I was able to right now.
I'm sure. I mean, again, it's not a question of I'm not saying that you're a bad person, Mr. Mold. I'm not judging you as a bad person. I'm judging the facts of my case. And the facts are you were working at a job making over $5,000 a month. And now you're at a job where you're making a third of that. And what I really need you to, and you have a degree in instrumentation, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So, I mean, in 2 months, or, you know, more than 2 months, it's actually pretty close to 2 months. I'm sorry. In 2 months since you lost your job at IP, how many times have you been out to the plants to try to apply for a job in your field?
Well, you can't really go to the plants; they won't let you in. But I've applied, I guarantee you, at least 100 times.
Okay.
And since I got that job at International Paper, I kept applying because I didn't want to be in Dallas.
Right.
But it's just, I guess, just right now it's just hard to get in there.
So you've gone to Texas Workforce and you've gone through their system to get your applications in for all the different plants for your instrument?
I didn't know about Texas Workforce. I've just been applying at company websites.
Okay. Well, what county do you live in, Mr. Moles?
Right now I'm in Orange County.
Okay. You plan to stay in Orange County?
Yes, sir.
When you were working at International Paper, where were you working at International Paper?
That was in Waxahachie, Texas.
Okay, so south of Dallas.
Yes, sir.
Okay. When did you move back south?
It was when I moved back down here.
Right.
Yeah, that was in February.
Okay. The tough spot for me, Miss Bryce.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I kind of lean toward you, Miss Bryce, and I think I ought to set the child support at $1,000 a month. But I do clearly have plain evidence that Mr. Moles is only making the $10 an hour, 40 hours a week. That's
Yes, sir. I know. And I don't want to put him in a tough spot, but I work at a daycare for the girls so that our girls can go there for free as long as I work there. So I only make $8 an hour. And
Right.
just with $300 a month in child support, that's just not enough for us.
I don't disagree with you. So, Mr. Moles, you said that you've applied to state trooper school, but you haven't been admitted yet?
I took the math test and the reading test
When?
Wednesday.
Oh, Wednesday?
Yeah, but my
Like
physical will
last
be
week?
scheduled for so my physical will be scheduled for September.
Okay, that's too far off.
But the academy, if I got in, wouldn't start until January.
Yeah, that's
But
what.
I'm still trying to find plant jobs. I'll happily like work in the plants
Well,
until the academy.
I'm gonna put you in choices, Mr. Moles. You ain't gonna have a choice.
Yes, sir.
And choices is a program through Texas Workforce. They're gonna help you get back into the plants.
I'd love to get back in, man.
All right, well, that's what we're gonna do. Anything further in this case, Ms. Pinister?
Your Honor, the guidelines that I calculated, if the court were to order Miss Bryce to enroll the children in a governmental plan, order cash medical at $75 a month,
That's
the
too high.
guidelines.
Yeah.
Okay.
50 for
50.
cash. Only making four. He only makes $10 an hour.
Three child support will be $375
Thank you.
and court costs, Your Honor, by
Yeah.
October.
October 31st, yes.
Okay.
All right. Ms. Bryce, I told you at the start of this hearing, is there anything else that you think I need to know about the case before I make a ruling?
I mean, I just really feel like he tried to get out of paying for the child support because he wasn't fired from that job. He left on his own.
Yes,
And I
ma'am.
don't understand why he couldn't stay at that job until he found a job that he wanted that was down here closer by.
Sure.
I just really feel like he was trying to get out of paying.
And you may be absolutely correct, Ms. Bryce, okay? But I am going to force him into the choices program. That'll help him get a better job.
Yes, sir.
And this case can be revisited in a month if the AG's office finds proof that the income is drastically increased, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. Moles, you got any questions or comments about this case before I make a ruling?
No, sir.
All right. The court's going to find the this jurisdiction. The court's going to find based on the testimony of the parties, it's certainly in the children's best interest to name the parties as joint managed conservators of the two children, with the mother as the parent with the right to establish the primary residence of the children. Mr. Moles will have visitation at any and all times mutually agreed to by the parties. If no mutual agreement, then standard possession. I'm going to order Ms. Bryce to maintain the current health insurance that she has on the children. Mr. Moles is going to pay child support based on minimum wage presumption. My calculations with the help of the Attorney General's office is $375 per month in child support plus $50 a month in cash medical. Those payments beginning May 1st of 2024. Court cost by Mr. Moles due October 31st of 2024. And I am ordering Mr. Moles into the NCP Choices program.